Welcome to the part 2 of how I made this beautiful dress that I'm putting on. If you haven't seen the part 1 of this tutorial, please check the comment section. I will pin it down in the comment section for you to see. So guys, without wasting much time, let's move straight into the part 2. So the part 2 is the sewing process of this dress. Let's get started. Like I showed you in the part 1, this is the fabric I'm using. This is an Ankara fabric. It is 2 yards. And for this button, which is a cover button, this is size 44. And I made 5 pieces from this fabric. And this fabric is a chiffon fabric and it is just 1 yard. So I have my zipper here and I also have the lining that I'll be using on the Ankara. So guys, we'll be starting with the upper part of this dress, which is the plain material part. So this is the pattern that I drafted earlier, that I labeled. I showed you guys in the pattern drafting video. So I went ahead to cut it open like this, and the next thing I did to this was to spread it on my fabric. By the way, this fabric is on fold. I'll be laying this on the fabric and I'll be adding 3 inches in between each paper so that I can have enough spacing in between them. So I'll be leaving 3 inches in between them. Then I'll be placing it just like this. So like I said, this fabric is on fold and we are just cutting the back for now. So guys, because of time, I'll go ahead and do this off camera. Then I will show you what I have after I was done cutting. So this is it after I was done cutting, and this is for the front. Just add half inch. So you add half inch to this side here, and to the top also you add half inch, and to the edge of it you will add 1 inch, and that's for the folding. So you will add 1 inch to the edge, that part that I wrote 1 and 5. So you will add 1 inch, and this is for the folding. As you can see, we'll be folding the neckline part and also the armhole part. So now this is the main bodice, the lower part, and this is what I have. So I'm trying to locate where my sleeves will be. So this is my 39 inches is my actual knee length. So what I did was to count 5 inches upward. So 5 inches above my knee length was where my slit started from downward. So this gown is not on my knee, it's below my knee, but my knee length is 39 inches. Then I counted 5 inches upward, which is 34. So that is where my slits will be starting from. So I note that on the fabric and also on the lining. So that's when I'm sewing, I'll be turning the part, the slit part, but for the rest of the other side, I will leave it open so you will see it, so you can understand what I did. So if you see all these dots that I have here, I transferred this dot to the back. So this is how I transfer my dot. I just insert a pin into it like this. Then I will use my chalk to mark it on the fabric and also on the lining. So like that, I know where the dart is starting from, I know where it is ending. So guys, this is my back pattern and I'll go ahead and sew it. So the sewing after turning every other side, so you see this part here, this is the center back. I went in by 1 inch. So you see that 1 inch that I sew it with is the zipper allowance, and I turned it inside. For the front too, I went ahead to sew, and you see this slit part rather, I went ahead to also sew it up to that point that I marked. As you can see, I sew it from this part here and I stopped there, then I will notch with just half inch. So the notching is stopping where the sewing is starting from. Then you go ahead and turn this to the right side and you iron. So after ironing, you should have half inch here upward. So this will be for the joining of the center front. So I forgot to tell you that there's a joining at the center front. So guys, the next thing you will do before you even take your dart on these bodies is to join them together. So you join them together at this center front. You know, we've already closed up that slit area. You see that half inch from this where the slit is stopping upward to the under bust, to the bust area. You have to close it up, and you can either close it, place it on each other like this and sew with half inch upward. That means your joining will be outside. But if you want your joining to be inside, see the way I'm doing it. I place it on each other, then I will use this one. So I remove one of this lining, then I will just flip it inside and I will use this lining to cover. So using this method, your joining will not show outside, your joining will be inside. But if you don't understand this method, you can just place it on each other like that and you sew. But the thing you will do is to just weave it after sewing so that it will look neat. So I want my own joining to be inside, so that's why I flip it over like this. Make sure the lining and the fabric, they are all equal, then you sew it with half inch. So half inch is the allowance I added at the center front because there's a joining there. So after sewing, this is what mine looks like, and as you can see the slit part, so this is what it looks like. See the inner part also, the joining is inside. Like I said, if you follow that method, your joining will be inside. Then I went ahead to also make the dart. This is the fabric for the upper part, so you make sure you hem the neckline and the sleeve opening. Just go ahead and fold it with half inch, just like the way I'm doing, because we added 1 inch at that area. So you do that for the front, the back, and also the front and the back, and also for both sides. So you go ahead and do that. Then after that, what I did next was to also make gathers. So I went ahead and made gathers at the shoulder area and at the under bust area. So you will see that when I am done. So this is what it looks like after making the whole gathers thing. As you can see that I already made gathers at both end, and what I did next was to join them at the shoulder also. I'm sorry I did not show this part. I think I was filming and the video was not recording. So I've went ahead to make the gathers here. So the next thing you will do is to place this just like this. You pin it down. Then what I did was to leave just 2 inches at the side. You see that side part, I just left 2 inches there. So you go ahead and you pin. So the first pinning I did was a mistake. So you have to be careful to know which one is the front and which one is the back. So I'm pinning this again just like I did earlier. So you place it up from the center front like this. You pin it downward. You leave just 2 inches by the side. Then you also pin the other side. You also go ahead and pin for the back bodies too. So you pin everywhere. Then you go ahead and sew. I forgot to mention that I joined this together after making the gathers. So I made the gathers at the shoulder for the front separately, for the back separately. Then after making the gathers, I just joined them together. Like after the gathers was made, that was when I joined them together. And after joining together, what I have there was the measurement I have after taking away my neckline from my shoulder. So the neckline we used was 3 inches. If you were following the calculation I used, the neckline I used was 3 inches, and 3 inches from my shoulder, which is 7.5. That's I have 4.5 left. And for the sleeve, I told you to make use of 6 inches. So 6 plus 4.5. So you should have about 10.5 at the shoulder area. So I'll go ahead and sew, and I'll also do the same thing too for the back. So I went ahead to sew the front. So to fix the back, this is what my back bodice is looking like. As you can see where the half inch is starting from. So that's after the 1 inch I took in for the zipper allowance. So you just go ahead and you also pin it down. You also leave the same 2 inches that you left for the front. So that was what I left there. These 2 inches that I'm leaving at the side is not actually necessary. You can actually make it the same length as the Ankara fabric. You can actually make it the same length. So guys, after joining them together, you go ahead and you weave the joining part so that your joining can be neat. The next thing we'll do now is to join the sides together. So you start this joining of the side from the hem line upward. I told you that when you want to cut the back, use the lower part. As you can see that mine is not on the same line. And this is because there's a difference between the half length of the front and the back. So my difference is 1 inch. That's why you can see a distance of 1 inch there. So if you place the lower part of the fabric when you are cutting, so to avoid this, when you want to cut the back, make sure you place the lower part of the front on the back to cut it so that you can have the same measurement. So moving on, I'll go ahead and close up the back bodies, and I will leave my zipper allowance. There's a space for zipper allowance at the back, so I will leave my zipper allowance space there. I just left 9 inches from my half length. So from my half length, that is which is the waist area, I just went down by 9 inches, not from the top of the dress. So from my half length, you see that curvy part at the back. So from there, I went down by 9 inches. Then that is where my zipper will be. Then I'll close the rest downward. So guys, this is the dress after closing it up, and this is the back. As you can see how it looks, this is what it looks like, and this was very neat. So the next thing I will do now is to fix my cover buttons. So I'll place my cover buttons on this fabric. Then I will just, the first one will be at this point here. Then I will give it an like equal space. I will leave an equal space in between the 5 cover button. Then I'll go ahead and just attach that off camera. So when you're attaching the cover button, make sure it is on that joining line, because there's a joining line at the center front. It's because of this pattern, that's why you couldn't see it clearly, but there's a joining at the center. So you go ahead and fix that, and this is what it will look like after you are done. So your dress is ready, your gown is ready. So this is what mine looks like, and it looks really really nice. If you follow my pattern, you will have a very great fitting on your body. As you can see how the back looks like on me. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't liked, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye.